Good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. Just wanted to make a video about something in the readings that stood out to me regarding alignment. And before I read this passage, I just want to preface with one of the reasons why I was intrigued by the idea of manifesting and being in alignment was because I was not content with who I was, my perception of who I was, and my perception of the world. And I thought that by studying things like alignment and manifestation, I would be able to create this ideal life, this perfect version of myself. And I just want to read for those of you who are on that journey as well and sort of wanting to create something better for yourself, and you're wanting to get into things like manifestation and alignment, but it may not be working for you, this might give a little insight into what alignment really is and what the purpose of alignment is. So, you may not get the raise or the corner office or the perfect spouse, but you will understand the perfection, the rightness in everything that you experience, and for one reason only. You are in accord to it, vibrational accord. You are aligned to the spouse that you have. You are aligned to the job that you have. If the soul you hold requires something other, if the benefits of the new will support you in a high way, you may indeed expect to receive them. But the ambition that you have utilized as the small self is not purposeful here. This is less about passivity than receptivity. And to be receptive to God is not to tell God what should be, but to align to the aspect of self that knows what is required and is in conversation with Source through all of his or her experience. So you are always in alignment. You cannot be out of alignment. Whatever is in your experience is what you're aligned to. The work, however, is in becoming in alignment with God, as opposed to your egotistical preferences. And I think potentially we may be at a time in the world where ego is diminishing, and potentially if you're wanting to be in some sort of egotistical alignment, being rich and famous or something like that, and you're having a lot of issues with that, possibly it's because that's not what you're meant to be in alignment with. You're meant to align to the will of God as opposed to your own personality's will. And so alignment is simply what you align with and what you align to through the ideologies, through the meanings things have been given. So everything that you're experiencing, you're in alignment to because that's something that was taught to you, or it's an idea that you came up with, or basically like the statement, I want a better job, is your equation for better, and you hold that alignment at a level of tone that will grant you what you wish, if indeed you can hold it. So I'm interpreting this as kind of like unconscious versus conscious. When you are feeling a lot of resistance, when you're wanting to outsource responsibility for your experience in life, I would potentially label that as unconscious alignment. You are in alignment with everything that you're experiencing, but you're not conscious of it. And because you're not conscious of it, you can't make the choice to align differently. But as you raise in awareness, you realize that you have the ability to align differently. And so if you do have the ability to align to a better job, then that is what you will be in alignment with. However, the challenge for most of you who are trying to get things is that you are looking for what is not present and demanding that it be there, which in most ways confirms the absence of the thing. And so that to me is a little bit confusing, because like, how do you say you want something, but then by saying you want something, you're confirming the absence of it in your experience? That's why I am sort of at the point of bypassing what I'm trying to get. I'm not even trying to get anything anymore, because what happens when I do that? I confirm the absence of that thing. And so I've moved into an intention more of aligning with the will of God and allowing that to provide for my experience what I need. In the upper room, when you stop telling God what should be, your experience of what is, which is God itself in expression, becomes profound. And the meaning it holds is far beyond what you would decree that the corner office should mean to you, that the promotion should mean, or the perfect spouse should mean. That is what I want to now experience in my alignment. And it seems that is a more of a straightforward path than wanting to align or manifest what I think should be in my experience. I'm sure many people might think this is some mumbo jumbo, but there's a key here. And aligning our free will to the will of Source that is actually what I'm looking for. That profound experience that, in my mind, more money might give me, or living somewhere else might give me. But when I'm in alignment, when I'm in conscious alignment with the same energy that created me, and I allow that to create through me, then whatever is meant for me will manifest on its own. And that's the key, because most of us don't even really know what it is that we want to be in alignment with, because we're so inundated with ideologies and meanings from other people, from the collective, from just being in this density, that you say you want a mansion and you want to live in Beverly Hills and be a celebrity, but perhaps that's just an idea that you acquired along the way because you think that's going to give you that profound experience that's going to light you up and really make you feel alive. But you're actually always in alignment. You're always in alignment with God. However, our free will allows us to co-create our experience. And many of us have forgotten that we're the co-pilot, and there's a source from which we came and which is still operating through us that has a much more vast understanding and creative energy to it. And now I'm getting a little bit off on a tangent here, but I just thought that was pretty interesting. And for many of you who are looking for alignment or manifestation, is that because you want to be in alignment with that, or is it because you want to get away from where you're at now? And that feeling of wanting to escape where you're at now could be resistance to the fact that that's what you're in alignment with. And maybe first you have to reconcile with the fact that you're in co-creation with what you're in alignment with right now, and then you can move on from there. But I just thought that was pretty interesting, and it definitely gives me a deeper insight into alignment, and also moving beyond alignment and manifestation for self-serving reasons. You know, what if you're wanting to use your manifesting powers for material objects, but you could be doing something so much greater and impactful than that, but you wouldn't even know because your intention is in alignment with what you think should be, what you wish. What does the source that created you, what does that want to do through you? Think about that. So, I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you.